This is the Google Pixel 5a, and I've had this for a couple of days, and I wanted to go ahead and give you my first impressions of this device. Now, the 5a is supposed to be the more budget-friendly of the two Google phones. You have the 5 and now the 5a, which they also remove some of the key features from this device to get it down to a much more attractive price point. At $450, that A could stand for awesome, amazing, or just straight up affordable. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo. Today I want to go ahead and give you my first impressions of the Google Pixel 5a. Now, I've been using the Google Pixel 5 for the past year as my main phone line for my photography business. I try to keep one Android phone, one iPhone, just so I can always figure out what works best with my drones. And what I've found is my Pixel typically works best because the screen doesn't go black, leaving me wondering where the hell my drone is. So with the Pixel 5a, I was a little bit disappointed when I first heard about this device because I was hoping it was going to be the Pixel 6, but it's the 5a. And I'm actually not disappointing anymore because the screen is a little bit bigger, it's a little bit lighter, and they also put a bigger battery in there. But what does it mean with the A series, and what did they remove to get it down to a $450 price range? If we compare it to the Google Pixel 5, you'll see that one device is made out of plastic and one device is made out of aluminum. Now, at first glance, you won't be able to really tell which one is aluminum and which one is plastic because there is sort of like this coating on both of these. Now, the Google Pixel 5 that I have is this sage green version, while the Pixel 5a is the mostly black version, and that's the only color it comes in right now. For me, it's more of a dark hunter green than a mostly black. I rather like the color, and I almost like the color a little bit better than the sage green version. Now, the device is a little bit bigger, so if we set them side by side, you can see that there is a little bit more height to the Pixel 5a. Now, that height isn't just in screen size, they also added in a dedicated speaker on the front of the screen. So if we look at the top of the Pixel 5a, you'll see there's a little speaker at the very top, as to where the Pixel 5 does not have a speaker at the top, and you actually have to use haptics to get the noise for the headphone, which not really a fan of. Now, as far as media consumption goes, I feel like the Pixel 5a is the better choice as far as media consumption goes. Audio just sounds a lot crisper, a lot clearer on the Pixel 5a than the Pixel 5. Now, both have the Snapdragon 765G processor, which is an octa-core processor, so nothing changes there. Where the biggest difference comes into play is the Pixel 5a packs 6 gigs of RAM and the Pixel 5 has 8 gigs of RAM. If we want to dive down even more technically, the Pixel 5 has a UFS 2.1 storage device, while this one does not. So they did skimp a little bit on the storage device, or at least it's not listed as a UFS 2.1. The Google Pixel 5 packs wireless charging, while the Pixel 5a does not have wireless charging. So there are some trade-offs and compromises there that you have to deal with, but they both have fast charging. Now, if we look deeper at the price, we're talking about $700 for the Pixel 5, and we're talking about $450 for the Pixel 5a, which is just a bonkers steal. In the world of devices where you have mobile payments, where you're paying monthly, if you wanted to buy a new phone, you would either have to shell out up to $1,000 for a premium device or put it on a plan, which means you're going to increase your monthly cost. That's sort of where I have been for the past 3 years, paying for my devices monthly. There's no shaming that. Hey, I mean, I'm not going to shell out $1,200 if they're offering it to me interest free. That's free money. I'm going to take it and I'll just pay for it monthly. Why am I telling you my business? Anyways, you can buy this for $450 and have mostly all the goodness of the Pixel 5 in the Pixel 5a. In my experience the past 2 days in using the Pixel 5a, I did notice the fact that this does not have a 90 Hertz refresh display. That higher refresh does give the appearance that everything is so much more smoother, but what I will say is the fact that the battery life on the Pixel 5a beats out the Pixel 5's battery life tenfold. I'm seeing about almost an hour and a half to 2 hours more screen on time with the Pixel 5a than I am with the Pixel 5, and that's under heavy direct usage. Now, most of my usage is comprised of watching YouTube videos, checking social media, and making phone calls and text messages and processing payments. That's what I typically do on this device, and it's just lasted incredibly well. Now, aesthetically, they did do some other changes to this device that are not the same on the Pixel 5, such as the power button is now made of a plastic and it does have sort of like this ridge. Now, on the front screen of the Pixel 5, it does have the new Corning Gorilla Glass 5, while the Pixel 4a or 5a, I should say, does not. So I don't know if one is going to be more scratch resistant than the other. I would just always recommend, if you're not going to put it in a case, at least put a tempered glass on either one of these devices. That's just a good rule of thumb. I have scratched the living shit out of the back glass on my Pixel 5 for my camera, so I will be putting a screen protector on this. Speaking of cameras, both devices have identical cameras, and I really didn't notice anything better from one to the other. The Pixels have always had amazing photography cameras. Photos are clean and sharp, and they're not crazily overprocessed, but that's just to be expected. I find that the Pixel has the better selfie camera. If I take the same photo equivalently with the iPhone, I'm gonna choose the Pixel's image 9 out of 10 times. That's crazy that a $450 budget phone can beat out the $1,200 iPhone, but that's just the facts, Jack. That's just the facts, Jack. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna start using that more. Fingerprint sensor on the back is amazing, works just as fast as it ever has, and there's an IP67 rating on both of these devices. Pixel 5a really doesn't lose a lot. The big thing is, with a budget device, it loses things where it's not going to really matter to you as a consumer, and for the average person that's just wanting this phone to do the main things well, it gets everything right. I'm impressed. My SIM card's in this mainly because of the battery life. I'm going to retire my Pixel 5. I'm actually probably going to give it to my dad to start using because he wanted a new phone, and the Pixel 5 is perfect. This does have an OLED display, and something I wanted to add is that I've had this device for an entire year and I haven't had any issues with screen burn, which is something I always freak out about when I start thinking about OLED devices. I think Google's finally passed the quality control issues that they used to plague with Pixels of the past, and now we're just set with this amazing little device. Makes me really excited for the future and makes me even more excited about the Pixel 6 and what that holds. But anyways, SIM cards in this going forward, and this is what I'll be using to fly my Mavics because the screen doesn't dim and it actually is really legible during the daylight. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't, if you enjoy content just like this. Thanks so much for watching. Stay original. Bye now.